Hey, welcome back to another X-Wing Strategy Tips. I'm your host, Nick Sabicki. Today I want to talk to you about flying in formation. Now, I've already done a video about flying in formation, but that was mainly on how to fly in a box formation. And box formations, you'll see still a lot of tournaments. A lot of people who play tie swarms like to fly them. It's a standard of playing X-Wing, know how to fly in that type of formation. Today I want to show you a slightly better way to fly in formation. And this is a secret in the sense that not a lot of people know this, I guess at least before this video goes out. But I've had great success with it at multiple tournaments and just casual play, of course. It's such a subtle tweak, but it helps your flying tremendously. So I really just want to get to it and show you what the benefits are. Okay, so one way to think about X-Wing is really as a game of surface area, where you want to be able to minimize the area that your ships take up and hopefully maximize the area that your opponent's ships take up. And hopefully if you do this, this will minimize the number of shots your opponent will have on you and maximize the number of possible shots and potential shots that you'll have on your opponent. So in order to take advantage of this, what most people, or many people, have done is fly their squads in a tight formation, such as this. This is a tight box formation. This is very common. You'll see a lot of people fly, especially pilots and that have abilities that give other pilots abilities. For instance, here I have 4 TIE bombers with Captain Jonas here in the back. And this is a great way to make sure Jonas has range 1 of giving out all these bombers these rerolls and these secondary weapons. And this formation works, in a nutshell. It does its thing. And I can show you this if we do a 2-bank here. If you watch my previous video, if we wanted to get all the ships turned this way, these outer ships should do a 3-bank. But even if we don't do a 3-bank, we can just do a 2-bank. And you will see that as long as I start with my ships far enough apart, nobody crashes and it's okay. And that's the key thing. As long as my ships start far enough apart, we're still all good flying. And I basically, if you're setting up in a box formation, you really do want to get these people on the back line, just in case of little bumps and things. Because you'll want as much space as possible between your front ships and your back ships, because when they turn, what you're essentially going to have happen is have these 2 squares turn and become diamonds, and those corners of those diamonds will rub up against each other. Alright, so here's my new idea for formation flying for you today, is I'm going to say that we can actually tighten up the surface area of this formation even more and not worry about crashing. And if you're wondering how, it's actually as simple as just offsetting our front row. And if we do something like this, we can actually tighten this up even more, which is the really cool thing. I'm telling you right now, on any of these bank maneuvers, they're not going to crash if we tighten it up this way, in this offset pattern. And in doing so, you can already see that before we have those 2 squares, right, that turn into diamonds, the corners of the diamonds rub up against each other. But if we have them offset like this, the corners of the diamonds are actually going to be interlocking. And this is going to allow for very, very tight banking in situations that you might not, or your opponent might not expect it. So for instance, let's just try doing a bank 1 with all of these ships, and we'll see what happens. So you go there, and you go there, and you should be exact when you do this. I should be more careful when moving the templates in this video, because if I do get off, I will crash, so it's very important you're reasonably accurate with your banking template. But even then, you can actually see after the bank, my ships actually have more space in between them than if I didn't bank. And lo and behold, that's a nice, tight, flying TIE bomber squadron. And the same tricks work before. If we set up again, let's pack these guys in. The same tricks work before if we go 1 on the inside and 2 on the outside. That all still works just fine. Just to show you, we can have a more group-style kind of turn where the outside has to travel a little bit faster than the inside pilots. So we can get everyone in proper formation. Bank 2. And look at that. We've actually reverted back to our box formation. This is very nice, very tight, very scary for your opponent to run into if they're flying across the board and your bomber or any type of ship formation can turn quite in such a tight formation. And again, I think this works best with the bombers. It works with any ship or any squadron of ships. Just the bombers don't have a lot of hard turn maneuvers, so maximizing your bank turns is really important, or at least having a lot of good variability with those bank turns is so important. And all you have to do is set up like that, basically touch edges to nubs, and you can put them almost as close as you want and not have to worry about crashing, as long as everyone does the same maneuver or your outside pilots do a further maneuver. Now, there is an asymmetry here to this design, though, I want you to be wary of if you are flying your ships this way. I do want you to notice this asymmetry here, and just take note that if we are doing the one bank on the inside, it does have to be the overhanging ships that are banking one this way, and the ones that are hanging off to the back can bank two. If we try to do this way, I'll show you what happens, and this is the one downside about this maneuver. If he goes one, and again, you can just remedy this if they all just do the same bank maneuver, you have no problem. Or just move one of the front guys up two, you have no problem. So 1 and 1, no problem. But if we go 2 with these two guys, I think you'll see the problem as soon as I finish moving this ship. You'll see that this guy can't go 2, he has to go 1. As soon as I put that second template down, well, bam, right into the back of that TIE bomber. So just know that if you're turning to the back corner side, you can't actually go 2 with this back guy, he has to hold up at 1. But even then, this might actually be to your advantage, because now you have 3 bombers on your front line and 1 on your back line. So if your strategy is, if this is the plan, if you want to have 3 ships as far front as possible, and often you do, this can be really good. Just know that you can't do 2 with the back guy. But if you knew that you were going to turn this way, you'd make sure you'd want to put Jonas as this guy. Well, dope. Silly TIE bomber, always falling down. And you can set up this way or this way. They will result in, they'll have slightly different results based on how you want to turn. They're both good, they're both usable, they're just, you might want to practice them once or twice so you know the slight distinctions between the two. But either way, this lets you pack in your ships really tightly for just really maximum squad flying, I guess. I've been using this exclusively now for the last several months. I haven't flown in a box probably since the summer, and this has served me very well. So, and it has the nice extra little benefit of giving your opponent something new, something different to look at. They won't know exactly how this thing flies and how well it can break out a formation until you basically beat them over the head with it. So give it a try. This is the offset squad flying formation.